12:01, and it is the oil stream on Monday in July. But the Oilers have actually provided us with some stuff. We've got some coaching changes, so we'll get into that right now. The oil stream is brought to you by Boston Pizza, where their summer menu is not only out now, it is absolutely delicious. We're planning 2 patio oil streams, early August, late August. Is when we'll have those for you. So we'll give you more details on that, but we're going to be going to Clairview. And then we're going to be heading out to St. Albert as well, which should be a lot of fun. Boy, Tom Gazzola, you're all of a sudden way better looking.
Oh, yeah, right. The little freak show here. It's like Tom's Dr. Frankenstein, and I'm the monster that he created. By the way, I think Guillermo, is it Del Toro, has a movie coming out, a Frankenstein movie in November?
Really?
It might be straight to Netflix. God, I wish stuff was still in theater.
Like big scary ones like that.
Anything.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
like, isn't Happy Gilmore 2 only
that's coming
on Netflix?
to Netflix?
It should be in the theater somewhere.
The new Jurassic Park sold like almost $600 million in the theater already.
That's why they keep making it.
That's the thing.
And you know why? Because I was thinking about this, because I think you guys were talking about this morning, right? Either before or after Cordy was on.
Yeah.
Good interview with Cordy. He said what he could, given a horrible situation. The thing with the Jurassic movies, it's an easy sell. Oh, what am I going to go to? Midsummer. Or it's 30 degrees out, or maybe it's raining and I want to go to a movie, and it's still for kids.
And I do want to see it.
For you, like it's still like an easy sell. Okay, whatever. It's the dinosaur movie. I know the formula. I'm not going to be too challenged thinking about it thematically or whatever. But yeah, those are lost on me, man.
I'm already excited because I am flying. It's tough to watch movies in town because when I leave, I feel like I'm leaving my family behind and stuff. So when I'm on the road, I like to do it. And I'm in Montreal Thursday, and then on Friday, I'll fly to Vancouver. And then we have a game in Vancouver on Saturday night. So I think Friday night, there's a theater not far from my hotel.
Oh, neat.
I might try to go do 2. I might try to hit one at 7 and one at 10.
Like Superman.
Just live my best. Superman and Jurassic, maybe?
No, to be fair, they did go 14 years without a Jurassic movie.
Was it 14
So the first trilogy was 93, 97, and 01.
Yeah.
And then Jurassic World, that was the Pratt.
That was the first Pratt one.
Is it Bryce Dallas Howard?
That's her, yep.
They did 15, 18, and 22. And now Jurassic World Rebirth. Is this what it's called?
Well, that's not 14 years. The last one came out in 22.
No, but sorry, between
Jurassic Park
to 15. Yeah, now they're just cranking them out.
Yeah.
But man, oh man.
Well, I'm here for it. Is it lame that I'm in Vancouver and I go have my big plan that I'm excited about is to go to a movie?
No, I don't think that's lame at all. Do whatever makes you got to be ready to perform.
Yeah. You know what? What'll probably happen? I'll probably fall asleep for part of it. I always fall asleep in theaters. So I'll probably snooze. It's going to be Jurassic Park, and there's this Moss, whatever it is, jumps out of the water, and I'm going to be like, I used to sleep at Marvel movies back when like my kids were really little.
Oh, really?
Because I remember we'd have Tammy went back after we had Elizabeth. Tammy went back to work for a bit, and we had a babysitter that would stick around to whenever I got home. And the odd day, and we'd have to pay her a little bit extra, but I was just like, man, I can't go home. I got to get some sleep. So I remember one time, it was like the 4th time I watched Endgame. I went in on like a Tuesday afternoon. The theater was basically empty. And you know how loud the movie Endgame is? I was out. 2 hours.
Oh, wow.
Like a light.
Jeez. You slept through the whole movie?
Yeah, done. And I sit down.
Oh, jeez.
Done. Wake up at the end.
That's an expensive nap.
Yeah, but at that point, I was pretty desperate for a nap. But you include the movie and then paying the babysitter extra, the nap probably cost me $100. But God, I needed the sleep. I did. That was fun. Jay over in the chat says the F1 movie is a great reason to go. Yeah, I want to see that one too. Damn.
Oh yeah.
Maybe I'll go triple header. Maybe I'll go triple header.
I think in the theater though, my priorities this summer.
You did see F1?
No.
Or you would see it?
No, I haven't seen a movie in the theater for a while now.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've seen one this calendar year. Superman, Fantastic Four, I would go to in the theater, and then
I think those are both great theater
F1
movies.
I would go to.
Well, and you know what? I know Jurassic Park's not your thing, but that's a great theater movie too. Like,
I guess
like the whole show.
Yeah,
I think all 4 of those are great theater movies. Barry the Cheater says F1 was like Top Gun or Days of Thunder. So good. Yeah, I got to see that one too. Anyway, there's lots to.
They make money. That's why they keep making them. And you got to remember too, it's not just the North American box office.
This was going to be $1 billion movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So even if a lot of people in Canada and the States mock it and enough go to break even, then you're making money off China or India
I
or
thought
wherever.
I saw something pop up on my socials over the weekend. Scarlett Johansson, and I don't know if it's just because of this movie now pushing over the top, but she's the highest grossing actor of all time. Like her movies.
Oh, because being in the Marvel movies,
her movies have made the most money.
That's a good point.
So, yeah, that's a good. Rip City Step says, but will Dusty buy one ticket and just stay all day, or buy 3 tickets like an honest Joe? I will buy multiple tickets. I will pay for each movie.
Right.
Because if not, I'm going to sit down for the second one, and I'm going to be so freaked out that they're going to catch me that I won't enjoy it.
Yeah.
I'd rather pay. Tammy and I, back in the day, I will say this, and happy birthday, Tam, if you're watching here. We used to do the whole thing. You pay for one, sneak into another.
Right.
But I can't do it anymore. I can't. There's too much on the line with Edmonton Sports Talk.
There really is.
I can't be known as the business owner who steals movies. Yeah, that wouldn't be good. All right, so the Edmonton Oilers, shout out to the Oil here for keeping us busy. I don't know if they'll be able to do anything for us. So last week we had the Ike Howard trade. This week we get coaching staff update. They got to be running out of things that they can give us at the beginning of each week.
We'll get the schedule soon.
Schedule soon. What the NHL came out today with their opening day, triple header,
and then I think the full schedule is on Wednesday, right?
All right. Well, there we go.
Oh, where is it now?
We'll have schedule coming up a little bit later on too.
What are the opening games? We got Chicago at Florida.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh at the Rangers, and then at 10:30 Eastern, Avalanche at Kings. Full
so it started. The season starts at 3:00 our time.
It does. That's right. 5 Eastern is Chicago at Florida.
Good thing we have the TV.
We got the
you guys
TV.
Able to,
we can watch games all day.
Able to watch that.
It
That's
is,
good.
by the way, 69 days until the Oilers play a preseason game.
That's it?
Yeah.
Damn, that doesn't even feel that far away.
Well, so I was telling this about a week and a half ago. I was texting with a buddy who's not a huge Oilers fan. Actually, he likes F1. He likes he'll watch entire Blue Jays games, and I was
he's a sports fan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, but he might not be. Well, now with the playoffs, he might be able to name most of the Oilers roster. 3 years ago, he probably couldn't.
Really?
But I think he watched the Cup final. But we were texting like, we got to get together this summer. And I'm like, we got to find a weekend soon. And I was like, it's 78 days until the Oilers play a preseason game. And he was like, my God. Like, are you serious? I'm like, yeah. That's what it's like when they go to the Cup final. I
was going to say, did he say, my God, is in, wow, it's a quick turnaround, or my God, the countdown to the day?
No, he meant quick turnaround.
Okay.
Yeah, because I looked it up while we were talking. I just put it in now. 69 days until the Oilers play a preseason game.
God, that's a quick
camp's
turnaround.
Probably in 64 days or something like that.
Yeah. Well, so 2 months. We basically got 2 months till things get going again here. All right, let's get to your Popeyes spicy headlines. If you're looking for a perfect summer snack. You've tried it all. I was going to say the chicken wrap.
I've tried a lot of I got Popeyes on the weekend.
Did you? Of course.
Well, I used the 30-point coupons from the Elks beating Ottawa.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, you get a piece of chicken and a biscuit.
For free?
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Do you think they'll get to cash that again this season?
That's iffy.
Sorry, had to ask it.
No, that's a good question.
Yeah, well, you're going to get into more on the Elks, obviously, on your show.
Oh, much more.
Yeah, there'll be some good takes this afternoon on the Edmonton Elks. It was an ugly one. Ugly one yesterday. The Oilers announcing today that they've added Paul McFarland, Peter Aubry, and Connor Allen to their coaching staff. Additionally, the team has announced that Paul Coffey will return to his role as special advisor to ownership and hockey operations. And, of course, it was broken last week. No goaltending contract for Dustin Schwartz. So McFarland's 39, joins the Oil as an assistant coach. He was with the WHL Calgary Hitmen last year. He's been on 3 NHL benches, including Hackstall's team in Kraken, in Seattle with the Kraken for 3 years. Aubry, 48. He'll become the Oilers' goaltending coach. 2 years as an associate coach at Nebraska Omaha in the NCAA, but spent 9 years with the Chicago Blackhawks as their development goalie coach, as well as the goaltending coach for Rockford in the A. And then Connor Allen, first year now with the Oilers as a skills coach. And he's been working with the U.S. Hockey's national under-17 team. Also done some stuff in the USHL as well. Reid, you did chat with Knobloch on the availability today. We'll get to that in a second, but just your thoughts on what they decided to add to the bench. No more Paul Coffey. Mark Stewart did get a new deal. he will remain on the bench. But your thoughts on this?
And just 3 guys on the bench. Won't be 4 guys on the bench. So it'll be Knobloch, McFarland, and Stewart. So maybe a little more streamlined there. I mean, I guess we can ultimately see how it goes once the season gets going. I think change can be a good thing, even though they have been to the Stanley Cup final 2 years in a row. I mean, you kind of knew Gullison was probably going to leave eventually, so there'd be something that needed to be changed there. I think that I think it's always been this way with coaching, and maybe even more so now with the younger generations of players, maybe wanting different voices. I remember, this was 25 years ago now. Larry Bird coached the Pacers for 3 years. And he said, I'm going to coach for 3 years and then quit. And he did it.
And that was it.
And he did, because he said, I played. And he goes, doesn't matter. Like, the coach, his message can get stale after 3 years. You need a different voice. And I believe they lost one of the NBA finals to the... I'm
looking up his 3-year stretch.
I think they lost the finals 1 year to the Lakers.
To the Lakers?
I believe, side note, I believe the first person who shook Larry Bird's hand after the Lakers won the series was Jack Nicholson, because his seats were covered by the visiting teams. And I think he stood up and Bird was going over to the Lakers bench and Jack just shook his hand.
So you pointed out, he said, I'm going to coach for 3 years. Winning percentages these years. 707, lost in the conference final. 660, lost in the conference final. 683, lost in the NBA final. Stepped
and I think
away.
He stayed on as the GM or president or special consultant.
I think he was president there for a while, but he had a 687 winning percentage, went to 2 conference finals and an NBA final, and that was his 3 years.
Yeah, and he said, I'm not coaching. He goes, that's it. And I think he said that ahead of time, not as he was quitting. I believe he promised ahead of time that he wouldn't stay on. So this is interesting for me because they're going to have a different voice on the power play with McFarland. Now, the power play is exceptional. I guess this year, they dropped to 11th or something like that.
Yeah, I've actually got those numbers.
They weren't in the high 20s percentage-wise.
We'll do numbers game a little bit later on. Power play was 12th, 23.7%.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and look, I don't necessarily... I know whenever the power play has a bad game, I often hear feedback from fans saying, well, they're too predictable. The other team knows what they're going to do. All they do is try to pass to Draisaitl. And I'm kind of like, works though. Like when it works, they score 2 a game. So, but maybe there's going to be something tweaked. Maybe this guy comes in and says, okay, what about this? What about this way to retrieve the puck? What about doing this off a puck retrieval? I would say what I'm curious about on the power play, are they going to find ways for Bouchard to shoot more? That's what I would like to see. I do not want to take away the one-timer to Draisaitl.
Yeah.
I don't really care. Sometimes McDavid tries it and it gets picked off. That's the nature of plays. That's not going to work all the time. But, I wonder if there's going to be a way to move Bouchard around a little bit and try for him to shoot the puck a little more from between the top of the circle and the blue line. That's what I would like to see, and maybe he's not at the high point. Who knows? You're
thinking about maybe he's sliding down towards where McDavid
maybe
usually
he moves over a little bit, or he.
Are you
rotates
going full Mark Letestu here? Remember when Letestu buried all this from that one side? Yeah. I mean, but Bouch, if you could get that thing unleashed from in between the dot and the top of the circle a few times.
Yeah. So that's what I would like to see. James in the nasty chat. Come on, there's not going to be a second unit that plays very much. These guys are going to play 90 seconds of the power play. Unless they're really doing badly. I'm sure they're going to try to have a second unit. There will be players on the second unit. That's not what the power play is going to revolve around. So the
power play is the same 5 guys as last year, right? It'll be Nuge and Hyman.
Well, Perry kind of replaced Hyman, but Hyman will be back in front of the net there.
Eventually, when he starts the year.
I don't think he's going to say, I don't think the new guy is going to come in and say, "Oh, you know what, Leon and Connor, we need 2 units, so you're not going to be on the ice at the same time."
Dueling units.
That's not going to happen. And I, James, I will say this. I know you write in a lot, and I know you watch the games very closely, but I will blatantly disagree with you that the power play is stale. Okay, they dropped off this year a little bit, but this is one of the most talented. Actually, this is not one of the most talented power plays of all time. this is the most talented power play of all time. Like, look at the numbers. Nobody's been that good.
This is a 4-year stretch
for 6 or 7 years. If you go back even to 2019, 2020. But
I guess that is that long ago now. Yeah.
I don't. So when I'm saying there needs to be tweaks, I'm not saying that because it's stale. I'm just saying, there's little things. There's new ideas that a new coach might have, or maybe the players will say, you know what, I've thought about trying this, but it didn't work in what Gullitson was doing or whatever. But I don't think that Gullitson was doing a bad job. So I'm curious about that. I'm saving the goalie coach obviously till the end because that's what everybody's. We got some audio coming in here.
Is that you, Zach?
It's gone.
Scared me there.
Coob's watching another show because when I'm on, Coob gets very bored.
You said you were going to save the goaltending stuff?
Yeah. The PK was horrible last year. So and Knobloch said today they're going to have to have a new approach.
So what did Knobloch say today? You were on that call.
He said that the three guys on the bench. He said that they're going to have to make some changes on the PK. He was asked some specific questions about Howard and Savoy, and he basically said he hopes they can be top 6 players, but there's probably going to be some growth that's needed first. He thanked Paul Coffey for what he brought to the team. I'm trying to remember everything now. I remember he specifically said they're going to have to come up with some new stuff on the PK. I can't if he said like a new deployment or some new ideas, but James, you're seriously going to argue with me on a Monday? Like, wake up, James, in the nasty chat. Like, I hate it when he just picks at me for no reason. Yes, they were 12th this year. Look at the last 7 years. Like, don't cherry pick stats, okay? Look at the last 7 years. This is the best power play in the history of hockey. And you want to pick on it because it had a down year going 12th. Wake up. Wake up and look at the stats and watch the games.
You're the best.
Like, well, I love seriously.
It. No, you're right.
If you want to cheer, well,
it's right here. Look, somebody else has it. Penner's Pancake says they finished first, third, fourth, and 12th in the last 6 years.
Right.
Like, you could look at the 12th and say pretty significant outlier.
Fair. Yes.
Right.
So maybe they need to tweak some stuff for sure. Absolutely, for sure.
But still, I mean, we could be sitting here 3 years from now and saying the Oilers' power play the last 9 years has gone first, third, first, fourth, 12th, second, first, fourth. You know what I mean? Like, that's the type of abilities they have.
It's very possible.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think that's
but look, but the penalty kill was a major problem, I would say.
Well, so
most of the season and for large chunks of the playoffs.
The penalty kill finished 78.2%, which was 16th in the league, which is better than I thought it was. But it was atrocious come playoff time.
Yes.
Right? Like, it really killed them.
So I'm curious to see what they're going to change because they've kind of been doing this, and I know that's sort of how penalty killing has gone. Like, it's not a static box anymore, right? It's the guy
one that sort of chases and steers,
and the Oilers were trying to push the puck to the flanks, and say, okay, well, we'll give up a shot from down low and trust the goalie to stop it, but they just weren't good. I get why they put McDavid on the PK in the playoffs to an extent, but I still don't think he's a great penalty killer, right? So,
I mean, his mind thinks offense. He's just
thinking.
Right?
He's thinking if I'm on the ice, I have to steal the puck and get a breakaway. So I'm curious to see what they're going to do. I guess we'll see if Mangiapane kills penalties. I guess we'll see about Lazar's role potentially on the penalty kill. Two guys that come to mind right off the top of my head. So that's going to be that needs to be an area of significant improvement, especially in the post. Like, they were getting lit up at times, especially early in series on the PK. I mean, LA was all over them early. I think Vegas was early. Florida was just basically all over them the entire series, 5-on-5 and the power play as it wore on. So that's gonna have to be a major area that's gonna need to be fixed.
What about from a personnel perspective for the penalty kill here? Like, I'm just looking at what they'll have available to them this year. I would agree with you on McDavid. So then you're looking at
Nugent Hopkins.
Mangiapane.
Yeah. Henrique, I assume.
Henrique.
Probably Lazar. If he's in. If he plays
what
every
about
game.
Kapanen when he's in?
Yeah, probably. Well, Pod. Actually, Pod's not a bad.
Yeah, Pod Colton.
Pod's not a bad.
And then Matthias Janmark could be an option too.
And Janmark's still out there as well. So there's not going to be any major personnel
So the only
changes.
personnel change is what, Mangiapane? Is that basically what we got? And maybe Lazar if he's playing, yeah.
Yeah, because Brown's gone.
Yeah.
Did they lose another penalty killer? No, that was it.
Yeah, Perry didn't kill penalties.
I think what he's talking about is that they're going to have to change their formation, so to speak.
So you think it's going to be a scheme thing?
I would think so. Like, was it not kind of figured out? And they couldn't stop enough cross-seam passes and all that kind of stuff. It just wasn't good.
780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. It is the numbers game as we were taking a look at the special teams right now. Just quickly on the power play. Tango over there in the chat says, I'd like to see the PP move the puck quicker, but I think I'll let Leon and McDavid decide how they want to do it. So, yeah, that's the thing. Big Hugh says there was a lot of down years on this team, and they still made it to the Cup Finals. It'll all be fine. The Oilers also had the most shots per game and the 26th best shooting percentage, so it'll be fine. So they're getting tons of shots. They just weren't bearing. I think a lot of that comes back down to the power play as well. So I would think there's a bounce back into the top 6 in the league on the power play at minimum.
I just got to double check how many power play goals Hyman scored from one year to the next, because that would have been could have been a significant drop off. Because how many times in his 54 goal season did he just knife in a little power play goal from
quite a bit, or he's on that far post and they're just finding him over there?
I mean, he had 15 power play goals in 23-24 and 15 in 22-23. He had 6 this past season.
Okay, so there's 9 right
so
off
he
the
dropped
board.
off by 9. Now I know Perry got some.
Perry ended up stepping there and taking some of those.
But Bush didn't get a power play goal till when? You were picking him to score one every game of the year.
Yeah, we were. That was a long time. And then didn't he get, wasn't it like an empty netter?
Oh, yeah, it was that weird empty netter when the other team
so, I mean,
was
how
down
many
late
goals
in the
did
game.
power, like Bush must have had, how many power play goals did he have 2 years ago?
So he had 8 in 23-24 and just 3 last year.
Yeah. So what's more likely? He's going to score 3 again, or he's going to be up around 7-8?
Yeah.
I mean, probably around 7-8. Like you said, you want to see him shoot a little bit more.
But see, so here's what I wonder, though. Do they need to find... Because, you have to still have Draisaitl over there for a one-timer threat.
Yeah.
I don't think you can say, they figure that out.
You can't change it up that much.
And there were power plays this year where McDavid tried, or Nugent Hopkins tried 2 or 3 passes to Draisaitl that got deflected, and then on the same power play,
they went back to it again,
and it's in. I wonder if they need to figure out, though, something down low for net front plays. You know, like I know they... And not just Leon, like doing where I get it on my backhand and spin around, or I try to one-touch it in front. Yeah. I wonder if they need to find some other plays to pass the puck down low and then get it into the crease for a chip in. You know, like this. Yeah, draw defenders out and do things like that.
When it goes over to Leon, it's kind of one-timer or bust.
Right.
And when it gets to him, if he can't get the one-timer off, all it usually is played back up to Bush at the point.
Right.
Right. There's no threat of anything else except the one-timer when it comes over to Leon. The other thing, didn't necessarily do a good job utilizing Hyman down low this season.
Right.
Right. And McDavid's always buzzing around so much. Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's no reason to. Those 5 guys are fine. Maybe a tweak here or there. More shots from Bouchard. Andrew, the accountant, texts in and says, Bouch scored a lot of goals in the Ovi spot when he was in London. I'd love to see him maybe do that again.
Yeah, that's what I want too. Yeah. Could you move him down to the top of the circle?
Yeah.
Okay, here's another question for everybody. Could this be the power play? Hyman, McDavid, Draisaitl, Bouchard, Wallman.
You caught Trev's attention over there.
How so?
And then you just run the 2 guys. Oh, Wallman's
at the top.
Bush is where where Nuge would usually be.
Top of the circle
on that left side. Here's where it changes things, because usually right now they get it over to Nuge, and if there is a shot, it's delayed, right? Like he gets it. Sometimes he'll walk in, try to drag it a bit and get a shot off. That way you've got Wallman throwing one tees or McDavid's buzzing around throwing one-timers to both sides.
Yeah.
I would like to see that. I think it's a good idea. Wallman's got a pretty heavy shot himself back up top there, right? So you can have Boost throwing it back up to him.
So if there was a personnel change, that's what I think it would be. You'd have two defensemen with big shots.
Well, you know what's interesting about this is right now, with where Draisaitl usually is placed, very rarely is it McDavid setting Bouchard up for a one-timer on the power play, right?
Right.
Like those one-timers usually would come from Leon on that side.
Yeah.
If you can get Bouchard over Ovi spottish, somewhere over there, and you got McDavid buzzing around, McDavid comes up high, can go that way to Leon, or over this way to Bouchard, right? Kind of keep him guessing.
And then Wallman can also shoot. And Wallman was pretty good at getting the puck through, I thought, when he would shoot it. I don't mind that.
And
then for the people asking about a second power play unit, well, what if it's Nugent Hopkins,
Ike Howard,
Savoy, and Ike Howard, or something like that, or Mangiapane?
Well, I mean, if you want, they're not going to play much, but you could roll out. I guess Nurse would be the defenseman, or Ekholm.
Nurse or Ekholm,
yeah, maybe Ekholm.
Yeah,
and then Mangiapane, Nuge, and the two kids.
Yeah, maybe.
I'll say
you
this.
might want two defensemen on that one. I don't know.
Yeah, you might. You could go Nurse and Ekholm.
Yeah, true.
If you wanted. That unit would have a hell of a lot more skill than other second units that we've seen come over.
Well, and the second units in the past year, it always looked slow, bringing the puck up. Maybe I'm just totally speculating. But if you had Nugent Hopkins on there, at least there'd be a little more pace getting the puck into the zone. Because like when Henrique was on it, it's like, I guess Kane was on it sometimes, but it's not as if that. And that's the thing with McDavid, gaining the zone is an automatic, right?
Yeah, you're getting in. So you don't need to worry about having anybody else.
Wouldn't that be fascinating if they put Nugent Hopkins on the second unit, and you had Wallman on the first unit?
Do you think they do that? Do you think coming out of the gate would they mix that up?
Probably not. But to me that would be the first tweak. It wouldn't be changing the net front guy. It would be putting Wallman back there. I mean, Wallman's going to have a full year here with the team. That might be one of the most exciting things personnel-wise. Looking forward to the
yeah, to have him around the whole year. Yeah. I see this guy right here, YouTube Trev in the chat says, "I'm telling you guys, don't you run away now, you coward."
Where's he going?
He's saying Ike Howard, PP1 baby.
Oh, that'd be.
This guy loves Howard. Although I think you're coming back down to reality a bit, knowing that Savoy is probably the more polished of the prospects. But Savoy was drafted way higher, same year. That's a bet I'll take. You know what? We'll get that up at Play Alberta. Who finishes with more points? Savoy or Howard? This is the numbers game for Play Alberta. You're looking for Alberta's ultimate gaming experience. Play Alberta offers the only app that combines casino games, sports betting, and lottery all in one place with exclusive offers every week for every style of play. Play securely with real money anytime, anywhere. Download Play Alberta now and experience the excitement. It's only in Alberta. It must be 18 plus to play. Please gamble responsibly. So, okay, good conversation on the power play. Paul Coffey, no longer on the bench, goes back to his role of hanging out.
Yeah.
Mission accomplished. What do you take away from the Coffey experiment?
It was a weird one to me because, and obviously, in our role, Dustin, we interact with a lot of people who have opinions. So, and it was funny too because when the orders were like really, really bad before they started making the playoffs. I like Rob and I would always be like, they need to hire Messier and get Coffey and Anderson as assistants. Like it was always like, let's bring back all the guys from the 80s now to coach, even though most of them have little to no interest in coaching the NHL. When he was hired, it was everything from like that brilliant move. They need a connection to the 80s teams on the bench to. Like he's just a spy for Cates because he's kind of in this special advisor
kind of what
role.
the thought process
I'm
was.
sure the truth was somewhere in the middle. Like I don't think Cates would be like, okay, go down there and report back on Knobloch.
Yeah,
I don't think Cates is that involved in the day-to-day stuff.
He didn't have a secret tube that he would go and put it in and go right to Cates' house.
But there was sort of, because even when Coffey, I think at that news conference, he almost sounded like, yeah, I guess I would be interested. Like, I remember he had some quote, like, I wasn't even thinking of, like, who knows? But I guess if he's part of a staff that was quite successful, you got to give him credit. It was sort of a nebulous role, right? Like, what exactly is he doing? How interested is he in teaching? It seemed like whenever he was interviewed, he would just kind of, the one talking point that I always remember was that he just encouraged players, mostly Bouchard, just to try to make a play. And I think that was probably a big part of his role, that just to encourage players to keep pounding away, like not to get discouraged. And he said it, no one made more mistakes than I did. Yeah. And I can remember games, when I was a kid watching and listening to John Short after, like, what's Coffey doing? Like skating up the middle and losing it against poke checked at his own blue line. But the flip side of that is if he got by the first guy, he would go in and look brilliant after that. Go in and score. So I'm kind of not surprised, because I think maybe it was the point, like, okay, what is he actually teaching? What is he actually drawing up? It's great to have moral support and of course that knowledge, but I mean, all the guys they've hired, and Knobloch included, I'm sure they would all say, yeah, I want to coach till I'm 65, 70. Like this is my profession, and look what they've already been doing. I know Paul's older than them, but does he want to coach till he's 70, 75, and he's one of those guys? Probably not. So I wasn't surprised to hear that news. And then even with them going to a 3-man bench, he's not being replaced. Is it? Yeah. Like, this is going to sound a little harsh, and I hope everybody understands I don't mean it quite this way, but I'll throw it out there as a talking point. It's almost like an admission that he was a little bit extra on the bench in terms of it's 100% what it is. What's the exact role? It's like, great, like you're talking to Bush or the defenseman, but Stewart is doing that as well. That's why I almost sort of used the term. Well, I did use the term mission accomplished. Yeah, like you put them down there to connect with some of these guys at this stage of their career, give them a little bit of advice, be a little bit of a cheerleader at times, probably for those guys to keep their spirits up. And now, I guess they've had enough of that, and they'll go back to your prototypical bench. Yeah, with the 3 guys on it. Well, and I think obviously with some of these hires too, let's face it, it's not just Knobloch. I mean, Bowman would be involved. Well, the goalie coach for sure. Right. Yeah. So if there's a conversation with Coffey, I wonder if that's even Jackson that would need to have that. Just like somebody really high up who might say, Paul, like, how bad do you want to do this? Like, are you into the road trips and the suitcases and the smelly bus rides from the hotel to the, like, I know. Well, it's all weird because I don't know where Coffey actually ranks in the hierarchy of the team, right? Because what's his advisor to the owner? Yeah. What did they say? They announced it on the press release. Where did it say? It was special advisor, right? He went back to his role. Yeah, special advisor to ownership and hockey operations. So I mean, like, he's the guy they have around. Like, right. So I almost feel like his role in the organization is kind of like his role on the bench. Like, was it 100% necessary? No, but you like to have him around there for a bit. Right. Now they like to have him around as, I guess, a bit of a sounding board a little bit sometimes. But that was pre this group. So we'll see how much he factors in still. Well, and I think now if you look at, this is more and more Bowman's team, and it's more and more Knobloch's team. Yeah, which is whose it should be after today. And I realize people are going to be critical of both those guys, especially Bowman, which is fair. But who on the coaching staff was Bowman's guy? And I even brought this up after the season. Like, is Knobloch even Bowman's guy? Like who knows how he's thinking, or is he still thinking, got obsessed with Quenneville or whatever? But clearly, I think Bowman has endorsed Knobloch here, and now I think this is their staff. So I think you got to have those honest conversations at the high level where Bowman has to say, okay, look, nothing against Paul Coffey, probably not hurting us, but is he really the guy to teach these guys for the next 2 or 3 years? How interested is he in that?
Yeah.
And he has a job.
Yeah, he just still gets to be a special advisor to everything.
Right.
I do like Max Bazuzu over in the chat says, I imagine Coffey switching SIM cards when reporting back to Cates about the coaches. Like, takes the SIM, put in the other SIM card, makes the call. That's kind of funny. Yeah, so like, it's an interesting conversation today on the coaching because, Knobloch's the guy. He was the guy for the last 2 years after he took over. They've had really good runs. And as you said, who would have been Bowman's guy on that bench? So this is their chance to put it in. But how much of them losing the last 2 Stanley Cup finals would you put on the bench? Like, would you actually say?
That's a really good question.
Yeah, because I don't remember coming in a little bit with Knobloch in the final this year. But like for the most part, the coaching staff has avoided most of the blame over the last 2 playoffs, I think.
I would say that. I would say Knobloch's probably been the least criticized coach of the. Well, Aikens was the first coach.
There's been a few of them.
When I was really involved in the daily coverage of the team. Tippett certainly had a lot of detractors. Todd did after a while.
After a little while, yeah.
I think his
it had a longer leash.
Kind of fell apart.
Yeah.
Hitch was never going to be here for that. They would have had to have an 800 win percentage for him to come back. So, how much do I put on the coaching in the last 2 finals?
Yeah,
Connor did say that one thing after Game 6. It's like, well, we kept trying the same thing to get the puck up the ice, and it was like we were beating our head. Now, I don't know if he's sitting there thinking, oh, I'm going to swipe at Knobloch, but maybe that's a bit of we had our way to transport or try to move the puck up to the ice, and we kept doing it, and it just didn't work. But having said that, Florida was playing great, and the Oilers didn't really have a lot of guys going, so to speak, to use a very common term. Like, they didn't have a lot of guys playing great or near enough at their high level once we got to the Cup final. I think when you lose, and sadly enough, even though it was a 6-game series, they lost pretty convincingly in the Cup final. So does a better coach get them over the hump? Probably not. There's always different things you can try.
Yeah.
And then the one thing about Knobloch, and I guess you could say, well, in the final, he didn't do it enough. He has not been afraid to make changes. Like he pulled Cody Ceci out of the Cup final the year before. Corey Perry, I'm going back to 2024 now.
Yeah.
Like Corey Perry and Ryan McLeod were scratched for a game against Dallas. Warren Fogle didn't finish the series against Dallas. Like, he took players who were, top 9 players or top 6 sometimes out of the lineup. And I think you saw against Dallas. It's kind of funny because this year in the first 3 rounds, after they lost the first 2 games to LA, they didn't have to adjust much. They put Pickard in. They kept firing away against LA, and eventually broke Kemper in a not deep enough LA team. And then against Vegas and Dallas, they didn't have to change too much. But I think you saw changes with how they were breaking out the puck in 2024 against Dallas. But I think that's Knobloch's greatest strength, is that he will change stuff. Like, he will say, this is not working well enough. I got to freshen it up. I got to freshen up the lineup. And I'm not demoting this guy forever, but 1 game in the press box might be enough.
Yeah, I kind of stopped questioning when they brought Kapanen in the playoffs, and I was like, what is he doing bringing Kapanen in? And then Kapanen ended up being somewhat effective, or as effective as you would have hoped he could have been. Okay, so we haven't got to maybe the most important guy here.
Right.
Peter Aubry.
Right.
And the goaltending. We were talking about the goaltending today, and one of the things that popped up on the Nielsen show this morning was, I guess about a month ago we were saying, if you're going to run it back between the pipes, you probably need a different voice. So they've got a different voice now.
Right.
And I said this morning, Trev agreed with me, but do you think, and I look, I'm not an anti-Stuart Skinner guy, for sure. In fact, I get criticized too much for trying to defend him. But how much do you think he has improved over the last 3 years?
Well, after this last year, it doesn't look like at all.
Yeah. Like, he's a good goalie, but I just don't know if he got any better under Dustin Schwartz.
No, probably not. I mean, this was an underwhelming year for Skinner. I mean, he had a .905 save percentage in 23-24, played 59 games. And I said it before the season that he needed to be .905 again. And that probably might have been worth, who knows, 3 or 4. Like, he wound up with an .896 in the regular season.
Yeah.
Had a couple of good stretches. But the thing is, okay, here's what I look at with Skinner and how this will factor in with the goalie coach. Skinner's high end is very, very good. I guess there will be maybe some people who won't admit that, but I think the stats, both the stats and just the eye test evidence, back that up. Like Skinner from game 4 against Vegas until the end of the Dallas series. So that's what, 6 or 7 games? Like, well, he had 3 shutouts in that span.
Yeah, 3 shutouts.
And yes, the team played well in front of him, but he was very, very good. You know, and even the first game against Florida, quite frankly, even the double overtime game against Florida, even though I think they ended up 5-4, like he made some big saves. I mean, Bobrovsky got beat too. So the thing is for Skinner is that his low end games need to be better. You know, like it felt like he was either 930 or 810. You know, like Skinner.
There's not a lot of 912s being
right, or there's not a lot of like even. You know, you can go under 900 and like if you stop 24 out of 27 and your team wins 4-3, you'll be below 900 for that game, but you kept the other team to 3, right? And I think that's what it is with Skinner. Like, can an off night for him be okay? He allows 3 goals, even if it's 3 goals on 21 shots. You know, somehow he keeps it to 3 against, and you give the offensive players a chance to get to 4. So, look, we talked about needing a new voice. That you probably can't bring the same combination back in the goaltending department. Schwartz was there a long time. I think there's a chunk of the criticism of Dustin Schwartz was unfair because there were some goalies that had good years out of, like Talbot has one of his best years.
Nominated for the Vezina.
Even Mike Smith. I know he was an older goalie, but for all the people who said, well, Schwartz just ruins goalies. Well, he didn't ruin Smith. Like, even if he just let Smith be Smith, that's part of coaching. But I understand why it's time for a new vibe for sure. So Skinner is going to be back. Seems like Picker's going to be back, obviously. But for Skinner, if he's going to be the guy, his off nights can't be, disasters or 5 goals on 17 shots in the first 30 minutes of the game, even if your team's getting outplayed. So I think, again, with Skinner, I think he's still a young goaltender. I think now this will be the make or break year for Skinner as an Oiler.
Has to be.
It has to be. Like, if he's the same as he was this past year, or even by Christmas, then maybe they're looking. But like, I do think we got to be fair to the guy. His high end is pretty good, but his low end can't be an 8-10 game and you feel like he's shaky and a shot could go in from anywhere.
Peter Aubry takes over. He's 48 years old. I'd been in the NCAA for the last couple of years as an associate coach, spent 8 seasons with the Chicago Blackhawks as the developmental coach of the Blackhawks and the goaltending coach of the team's AHL affiliate in Rockford. I didn't even know I could find this, but hockeygoalies.org has the goaltending history of every organization. So I was just looking at Chicago Blackhawks goaltenders. With the big club, he would have had a few years of Corey Crawford along the way. I think the one name that's kind of interesting to me here is, especially from his American Hockey League development standpoint, Kevin Lankinen. 18-19, 19-20, 20-21, 21-22. We just saw Lankinen get a deal in Vancouver, and they really like him.
He was really good.
This was a guy that Aubry would have worked with for sure in Kevin Lankinen. And I believe, Hernan, right? Aubry tomorrow? Okay, so we will have the Oilers' new goaltending coach on EST afternoons tomorrow. And we'll hear a little bit more about the history. But, I mean, helped develop Lankinen into a pretty decent NHL goaltender.
And I should say to all the people in the Nasty chat, yes, Smith did have someone else he worked with. I know we can't give Dustin Schwartz
he did have his one guy. He did
for anything. I do think the booing of him at the home opener that one year, well, that was this past year, was a little much.
Probably going to, yeah.
So, but what's the difference between a really good goalie and a mediocre goalie or a bad goalie? I mean, it could be 2 or 3 goals a month. You know that?
Yeah.
So that I think that's what we're looking for. Can this guy help Skinner and Pickard too? I mean, Pickard wants to improve, and I know Pickard was a great story this year. Not every game he played was excellent. He let in some stinkers rough too, nights too, where you're like, So, can you clean up? Can you clean up? You know, a goal a week or 3 goals a month. You know, where it doesn't get out of hand, you know, or the team is down 2-1 and you don't let in that third one to make it 3-1 and it's deflating and things spiral out of control. I mean, look, it's a strange position, obviously. I mean, even some people, even the way Bowman talked about it in his year-end availability, he was kind of like, you don't always know what you're going to get sort of thing, you know? And yes, like there's no doubt that Jake Ottinger's a better goaltender than Stuart Skinner. There is no doubt about that. But Skinner's kind of outplayed him 2 years in a row.
Yeah. He's definitely outplayed him.
Connor Hellebuck's literally one of the best players in the league. Well, he was just named the best player in the league. He was just named
the Hart Trophy, yeah.
He's never been to the Cup final. Skinner's been to 2. I mean, I'm oversimplifying things. So, you know, what I don't know specifically what he can help Skinner with. It's going to be between the ears. I mean, certainly the lateral movement, I guess, you would say he could help with, and some of those plays moving side to side. Now, but here's another thing. How much of that with Stu, and I guess maybe we'll find out this year, is athleticism and how much of that is reading the play? I mean, if Skinner, and I'm not saying that he does, but when we talk about his lateral movement, if that's just his inability to read a play, that might be hard to teach at this point, right? Physical things with lateral movement or positioning, that might be teachable. And I'm going to reference something here, Dustin. I asked Kelly Rudy a couple years ago, what's the biggest difference between an AHL goaltender and an NHL goaltender? And I think he's going to say, you know, the classic, short side or, you know, shots above.
Can't get back up quick enough.
And he said it's reading the play. He goes, NHL goalies anticipate better and get there.
Just instincts.
Just get there quicker. They just have an understand. And I remember talking to Talbot one year when he was here, and like he was when he was starting to really get some momentum and play better. And I think it might have been the Rangers. They had like a kind of a 4-on-3 rush and scored on this brilliant passing play, and the guy basically had an open net because Talbot was like, and he was just kind of talking to a couple guys off mic, and somebody said to him like, "Yeah, well, you had no chance on that one, eh?" And he's like, "Well, no, I didn't." He goes, "Because I screwed up." And
oh, really?
We were all kind of like, "Yeah, but that was a great passing play." He's like, "No." He goes, "Yeah, sure," but he goes, "I misread where the guy was. Like I should have recognized that he wasn't going to put the puck to the guy that I was playing, that I should have known that it was coming back to the middle of the ice. So yeah, it looked like, they've made a great passing play, but he's like, I never should have taken myself out of position the way I did." So I thought that was interesting, right? Like it's
that is interesting. Like they always think they can get to everything. Like, yeah, that is kind of interesting. The Gordfather texts in, he says, "Yeah, different voice. Can't make a goalie's reaction time better or a glove hand quicker. Maybe some crease placement or angling, but if he's higher in the crease, he's more susceptible to cross-ice passes. I don't think a goalie change will really do much of anything." Well, you know, I guess we're going to find that.
Well, we'll find out. And then if it doesn't, then it's probably going to be.
This is a make or break year for Skinner.
It could be new goalies for the playoffs. And when I say goalies, I mean that. You know,
Colorado flipped 2 during the year, so we'll see what happens there. Hey, I wanted to chat with you about this art thing over the weekend and Def Leppard.
Oh yeah,
I know you're talking about on your show.
My entire show will just be a Leopard tribute to it.
Was it good though?
It was perfect.
Yeah, perfect. My God,
it was perfect. I mean, look, obviously I'm biased.
Yeah,
I mean I've already bought the ticket. I've seen them 14 times.
14 times now or 15 now?
14 now.
14 now. Wow.
I know the songs. You know, like there's no surprises.
You're gonna love it
with the set list, really. But going with Chris Zip, one of my best friends. So I've seen Leopard 14 times. We figured 10 of those we've been together.
No way.
And it sounded great. It sounded better than I thought it would.
Okay.
But I guess outdoors, it's nothing bouncing around. And I mean, they're just technicians. They play the songs perfectly. And I've watched interviews with them obviously over the years, and they've kind of been like, well, you sort of play most of the same songs, which they probably have 8 or 9 they play every show. And he's like, well, but we might have fans listening to us for the first time since 1990 or 1988. Like maybe so he goes, we can't not do Pour Some Sugar and Animal, and we can't wank off doing variations of the song. We want people to sing along and be like, oh yeah, Animal, and I want, and I need. So that's why they do. That's why when they play the song live, it's almost a replication of how it is on the album, because they want to bring you back to that moment. But they sounded great. I mean, Joe Elliott, the lead singer, he's in his 60s. Like, he might sound better than ever the last couple of shows. And I mean, they know their audience. They know, and I always get people. Like, one guy was writing in Friday. He's like, I don't like any of their stuff after the first album. And I'm like, well, I hope you didn't buy a ticket to the show then. Yeah. Like, you're not gonna detract or diminish my experience of liking them. Like, if you think Def Leppard sucks, that does not offend me.
Yeah. Also, don't come to the show.
The people who went were into it. There's a lot of people around my age, I would say, but there were definitely some younger people there as well. It was just a fun, joyous evening, Dustin.
That's good. So that kicked off a great weekend for you then, because you hit the art show.
So my dad was on White Ave Art Walk.
Yeah, Art Walk.
Yeah,
did you say 460?
Yeah, I just looked it up. They had 460 exhibitors, including Alan Milne as well. I bought an Alan Milne painting.
Oh, brother of Glue Guy.
Brother of Glue Guy.
What was that painting? What was it of?
It's
nature landscape?
It's a nature thing. It's kind of like a lake and it's sort of his shtick is he does sort of trees, but like colors them.
Okay.
So I should have taken a picture of it.
You need a stick, eh?
Yeah.
Does your dad have a stick?
My dad is landscape and like quite realistic. Like, he's been asked if they're photographs.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So my dad's good. I'm really proud of him. I mean, he was out there. He was out there 3 days, like 9 to 5, 10 to 5.
Well, that's a long haul for
whatever it was. And it's not like I went and hung out with him to just see if he needed help. But it's neat, just even the people who don't buy, because most people don't buy. I mean, he sold several paintings, but just the people who kind of stop and look.
Just take a peek at it, yeah.
And I think, and let's face it, not everybody knows the Art Walk is on. Yeah. A lot of people just go to White Ave on the weekend, and it's like, oh, what's with all these?
Check this out.
They may not have brought any money to, or thought they were going to spend money on.
How long does it take your dad to do a painting?
I don't even know, actually.
I wonder.
But he cranks them out, and he's talking about next year,
he's already planning.
Which is awesome.
I love that. That's good. Yeah. What's coming up on your guys' show today?
We have, I've drawn a blank. We're going to have Elks. Yeah. Elks discussion.
Definitely.
Plenty of Elks discussion. Britton Gray from CJME in Regina.
I saw him over the weekend.
I think the reaction to that game being postponed is all over the map. They had to push it back to what a joke, and I'll never go to a Riders game again. And plus Calgary, what a story they are.
Yeah, they're amazing.
And we're starting this week, Ref Week. We talked about doing it. We're doing it. We've got hockey guys lined up, basketball, football. We're starting with an umpire today, local guy, Corey Davis, but he does Riverhawks. I think he did Trappers back when they were.
Cool.
He's been umping since he was 11. He's been umping, everybody don't know his age, but who cares? He's been umping 41 years. He started when he was 11.
Wow.
So we want to get that story, but I think we also want to touch on how do you get the next generation of
My nephew umps.
Yeah, which is awesome.
He's 15.
Oh, cool.
And my son played U11 this year, and we had like 13-year-old umps. That's how it works. And there was one day.
Don't yell at those kids.
Well, no, I didn't. But the one day I felt bad for the guy. He took one off the top of his knee, a pitch from this kid who was throwing pretty good. Took one off the top of his knee. Then I swear to God, he took one in the nuts. And we were like, oh my God, this poor kid. And then later in the game, he took one off the arm. And he finally, on the third one, he's crying. I'm like, it's okay, buddy. Like, let's walk it off. But I like they're good. Yeah, I like seeing these young guys get into the umping game. So that'd be fun. I did tell people on our show today I want everybody to hop in whenever you have an official on and boo them in the chat.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it goes. And I'd probably avoid getting Tim Peel on. Just saying. I don't know if that would go over well around here with Matty Owanek. All right, that's going to do it for the oil stream today. Brought to you by Boston Pizza. Thank you to Reid Wilkins for sitting in for Tommy Gazzola. EST Afternoons is coming up next with Hernan Salas. Tomorrow, Hernan on EST Afternoons, he and Gager will have the Oilers' new goaltending coach. So we look forward to that one as well. For Reid Wilkins, I am Dustin Nielson. I'll talk to you tomorrow morning, 6 o'clock on The Nielson Show here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Take it easy.